as a cactus, you're as charming as an eel, Mr. Grinch. You're a bad banana with a greasy black peel.
That's right. Be mad at me. 2 lessons in one day, but that's okay. Lesson 3-20 and 3-21 are all about story problems, so we're going to knock these out in the same day. That way we can finish and have time to finish Unit 3 by the end of this week, and I can get your grades all finished on Friday. All right. You need to turn in your books to page 141. Page 141. Okay, we're going to look at the first 4 problems on this page to start. Let's look at number 1 together. It says, Julia jumped rope 1,200 times. Samantha jumped 1,100 times. How many more jumps did Julia do? These are comparison problems. So we're comparing. We're going to find the difference between Julia, who jumped 1,200 times, and Samantha, who jumped 1,100 times. We do subtraction. We find out that it was 100 more jumps is how many Samantha did. Okay, please go ahead and do 2, 3, and 4 in your book right now. Pause your video and then come back for the answers in a moment. All right, let's look at the answers of 2, 3, and 4 now. So we got the new page up here, 100 more jumps. Number 2 was fewer jumps, Number 3 was 12,312 jumps. And number 4 was 9,505 jumps. Get that over a little bit so you can see a little better. All right, simple. Usually the finding the difference and subtracting. Now let's turn the page to page 142. Page 142, we're going to be looking at (8 through 19). We're not going to do 20 and 21. Now we have mixed word problems for 8, 9, and 10. Let's look at number 8 together. Then we'll move on from there. Number 8 says, last night 45,239 people attended the soccer game. This is 5,856 more people than were at the baseball game. How many people attended the baseball game? Then we're finding the difference. We says that 45,239 people attended the soccer game. That number is 5,856 more people. So if I subtract that number, 5,856, from the number that went to the soccer game, I'll have how many people went to the baseball game. When I subtract, 9 minus 6 is 3. Got to borrow. 13 minus 5 is 8. Got to borrow again. And we're going to have to borrow one more time here. 11 minus 8 is 3. 14 minus 5 is 9. That means 39,383 people. 39,383 people attend the baseball game. And that would be people. That's what we're talking about there. All right. So what I'd like you to do now is work on 9, 10, 11, and then on 12 through 14 down here at the bottom, 12 through 19, use mental math. We got a lot of zeros. Use that mental math to make it simple and write the answers there. Pause your video, do 9 through 19, then come back and check your answers. All right, it's time to check your answers now on 9 through 19. And here they are. Got them all nice and pretty there for you. Go ahead and pause your video and check these, and continue the video again when you're done. Pause your video now. All right, now we're ready to move on to lesson 3-21. Turn your books page 143. We're going to start by focusing on 1 through 4. Number 5, you can skip number 5 in the book. We're just going to go 1 through 4, but let's look at number 1 together. We have, the problem says, yesterday a factory made 256,000 cotton balls. The cotton balls were packed in bags of 1,000 each. A drugstore bought 180 bags. How many bags of cotton balls were left? So we have to take and find out how many bags there are first, and then subtract 180 bags from that to see how many are left. So if we divide by 1,000, how many zeros in 1,000? There's 3. So we take the 3 zeros off the 256,000 cotton balls, and that's division. And we have 256 divided by 1,000 equals, or 256,000 divided by 1,000 equals 256 bags. So right now, first part of our problem, we have 256 bags of cotton balls. That's what we figured out for the first one. And now we subtract that 256 minus 180, and 6 minus 0 is 6. Got to borrow 15, 70. So how many bags are left? 76 bags were left. Two-step problem. First, find out how many bags there are, and then find how many bags are left by subtracting the ones that were sold at the drugstore. Okay? Please do 2, 3, and 4. Now, come back and check your answers when you're done. Show your work. It's a two-step problem. I need to see both steps. Pause your video and begin now. All right, let's see how you did. We've got, notice the problem before, number 1. Problem number 1, it has 256,000 divided by 1,000 is 256 bags, and then 256 minus 180 was 76 bags. Number 2, you get the 2 steps there, both answers. Number 3, both steps with their answers, and the final answer has a label. Number 4, it's all money, so the labeling goes with labeling it dollars and cents with the dollar sign. Okay. Next page we're going to do. All right, Miss L had a lot of questions, so I had to answer the phone. Anyway, here's the answers for this. If you need to go back and pause the video to see them longer, you may do so. Let's move on. Now we're on page, I believe it's page 144. Now we're getting into different scenarios. The next couple pages will be a problem or two on different types of problems where we have the situations of too much information, like on 1 and 2. Too little information, like on 3, 4, and 5. And then we'll get over to the next page and we'll have problems with multiple solutions and problems with no solution. Let's look at number 1 to start. When I read number 1, it says, Kira is putting a wallpaper border around the top of the walls of her room. The dimensions of her room are 9 feet by 7 feet. The border material costs $8 per foot. How many feet of border material is needed? Now we have both the dimensions and the cost. This question, number 1, only asks for the dimensions, which means we have more information than we need so we can solve the problem. But we need to note that on this particular problem, we don't care about the $8 per foot. We only care about the dimensions because we're asking about this question is how many feet of border material is needed. So identify any extra information. That would be, let me erase that and so you can circle it instead. That would be the material cost of $8 per foot. That's the extra information in this problem. Why is it not needed? Because it's asking for how much material is needed. Okay, I want you to solve number 2 on your own and identify which material is not needed. Okay, but let's move on to number 3 first. Number 3 is too little information. Now we have to identify that we can't solve the problem because there's not enough information. Mr. Hoon's class visits a museum. Each museum tour guide takes a group of 10 students. How many tour groups will there be? We don't know. We know that there's 10 students in each group, but we don't know how many students are in Mr. Hoon's class, so we can't determine how many students there are. Okay? So what you need to do is you need to solve number 2, and you need to solve number 4 and 5, and then pause your video to do that, and then come back and we'll get the answers in just a moment. Pause your video. All right. Now let's look at the answers to 2, 4, and 5. Number 2, we had 60. The information that's not needed is the fact that we have 62 pages. 96 pages is not needed. We don't need to know that his book has 96 total pages. We're just talking about how many pages he's read on Monday and Tuesday. Okay, number 4. So we move down to the bottom. Ben earns $10 an hour babysitting. How much money did he earn babysitting on Saturday? Cannot be solved because we don't know how long he worked. We know he makes $10 an hour, but we don't know how many hours he worked on Saturday. Jan made 8 booklets and used 6 sheets of paper in each. She bought a special paper in packs of 5 sheets each. How many packs of paper did she buy? This one can be solved because we know that she made 8 booklets using 6 each sheets on each one. And the question is, how many packs of paper did she buy? Well, she bought a special paper in packs of 5 sheets. How many packs of paper did she buy? She bought 2. Or 10, I'm sorry. Okay? And that would be because that's how many she would need to finish. Okay, if you said not enough information because it doesn't say, well, that one's kind of tricky. But you get the idea. All right, let's move on to page 145. Okay, page 145. Now we're talking about problems with multiple solutions. So let's look at number 6 together. The price list from a catalog is shown. If Dia spent between $15 and $20, what items did she buy? Okay, is it possible to have more than one solution? If she spent between $15 and $20, she could buy a number of different items from the price list. Like, for example, she could buy a candle, a journal, and an artist set, because those total up to 3 plus 4 is 7 plus 9 is 16. Okay, she could buy just an artist set and a pillow, because that would equal $20. So there's more than one combination that would work. Okay, so we have to look and see which pattern will fit a certain mold, or how many different patterns could you answer. Okay, you'll be solving number 7. Let's look now at number 8, problems with no solution. It says name 2 even whole numbers whose product is 19. Can you find 2 even whole numbers whose product is 19? We think about it, 2 even whole numbers. Well, we have an odd answer. We can't add 2 even numbers to get an odd answer. So this one has no solution. Why? And the reason is when you add an even and an even number, you always get an even number. You can't get an odd number. Okay? Number 9 and 10, determine if the problem can be solved, and then if it cannot explain why. If it can be solved, go ahead and solve it. Okay, pause your videos and complete 7, 9, and 10 now. All right, let's check out those answers. And here we have number of possible answers for 7. There's a couple of examples there. If you have a different one that works, that's okay. Number 9 says Tom has 24 pictures to place on 8 pages. Each page must have the same number of pictures. How can he arrange pictures? This one you can solve, 3 pictures on each page. Number 10, draw a square with a perimeter of 18. The length of each side of the square must be a whole number. Can't do that with a square. All 4 have to be the same, and you can't take any number times 4 to get 18. So you can't use a whole number. It could do 4.5, but that's not a whole number. Okay? All right, lots of different types of story problems, but all quite simple. We just have different situations we have to think about as we're reading the problem to see what we're going to work on. So today, what we're going to do is we have 2 sets of homework and remembering assignments, but we're only going to do 1 set. So let's do homework and remembering for 3-20, and then just homework for 3-21. That's homework and remembering for 3-20. And then just homework for 3-21. That's 3 pages. Just in case some of you are wondering. Yes, is that 1 more page than normal? Yes, but some of it's mental math, and it's still not that many problems. All right? Good luck. Do your best. And all right, get your homework done.